Hey, this is Guy, and today we're going to be talking about just basically a full recap of the offseason, but in a fast way. You know, Joe Burrow coming back from his wrist injury, season ending last year, Jamar Chase and his contract issues, what happens next for the star wide receiver, and the defensive tackle struggles and the defensive tackle depth that the Bengals must have in order to compete in the AFC. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. This is the Guy. Hey, this is Shinty Guy, and like I said in the beginning, you know, Jamar Chase has kind of had contract issues throughout the offseason. You know, he did kind of participate in the offseason, no training camp at all. You know, Jamar Chase has returned to practice before their week 1 game against the New England Patriots, but is this an issue for the Bengals in their front office? Like, why can't they just get the deal done? Well, the way I look at it, Jamar Chase has had a issue with the contract because he's only going to get paid $1 million this year if he didn't sign a new extension. And obviously, like other wide receivers like CD Lamb, who got paid yesterday, and other wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, who's all getting paid $130+ million a year. Jamar Chase only making $1 million of that. And how I see it, Jamar Chase still has 2 years left on his contract because of the 5th-year option that we exercised with him last year. So now, does this really mean that the Bengals cannot succeed without their star wide receiver? Now, the way I look at it, I think we still can succeed. You know, the way Joe Burrow and T. Higgins put together in the preseason and Joe Burrow's return, which we will talk about here soon later. I think Joe Burrow and T. Higgins have had that chemistry since day one of training camp of their rookie years, and I think it will only continue to build until T. Higgins leaves this offseason, which is honestly inevitable with how the Bengals have treated his contract situation. And, you know, it would have surprised me if Jamar Chase gets the deal done by week 1, right? Last year, Joe Burrow got his contract done 3 days before week 1 against Cleveland. Obviously, we didn't do good those first 2 games because of his calf injury, but it would have surprised me if Jamar Chase gets his deal an hour before the Chiefs-Ravens game, you know, kickoff game, just because of how petty the Bengals are when it comes to the Chiefs and the Ravens. So, you know, I won't be surprised if they already have a deal done but won't announce it until around the game of week 1 at kickoff. So with that being said, what does this mean for T. Higgins? Well, this is just another reason for him to succeed. And if T. Higgins can stay healthy, he will extend his market and his value on the market throughout next year in free agency, because it is obviously shown that T. Higgins wants to be in Cincinnati. You know, he's put up great numbers. You know, he's had good plays. You know, he showed out in the Super Bowl and everything. But, you know, he wants to get paid like a wide receiver 1, and the issue with that is the Bengals only have room for 1 receiver to get paid like a wide receiver 1, and that is obviously Jamar Chase. Now, T. Higgins, if he balls out this year, he will get paid somewhere else like a wide receiver 1, and it will obviously be great for him, but the Bengals, obviously, they did draft Jermaine Burton to look to replace T. Higgins. You know, they have Andre Yoshvash. So T. Higgins this is a prime opportunity for him, and if I was him, I'd take great responsibility of it, and I don't see any reason why Jamar Chase shouldn't get this deal done by week 1. Now, the training camp. Joe Burrow was cleared for contact at the beginning of training camp. Throughout training camp, he did have ups and downs when it came to the wrist. And, you know, practices just with our own defense. Defense did win some of the days. Offense won some of the days as well. Will it be a concern to throw the ball deep downfield? I don't think so. I think the Bengals will still continue to run through the deep ball with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and, you know, really just have those 2 be their options for Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow will continue to succeed under those guys. The defense, however, did improve throughout the camp. You know, they did start off a little rusty with, you know, Von Bell returning and we acquired Geno Stone in the offseason. But, you know, with Von Bell returning, I think it is a good thing for Cincinnati to have, you know, that kind of safety depth. Jordan Battle, you know, Dax Hill has moved to the cornerback position, and he is competing for that cornerback 2 spot, which, as it is being reported, he basically has won that over DJ Turner. So it looks like the top 2 corners for Cincinnati will be Cam, Taylor Britt, and Dax Hill. But, you know, just to kind of have that kind of safety depth is definitely something that you should have in the NFL. There are teams league-wide that don't have that kind of depth at the position. I think it is important to have depth at every position, but every position has to have a certain amount of depth so your team can succeed around everybody else. Now, obviously, the departure of Tyler Boyd does mean that the Bengals are looking for a new wide receiver 3. They have had players step up like Charlie Jones and Yoshvash and Trent Irwin, and on the depth chart, it still has Trent Irwin listed as wide receiver 3. Is it necessarily a bad thing? No, it's not. I think Andre Yosevich will win that wide receiver 3 spot just based off the work that he's put in. He looks a lot bigger, and I think Yosevich is primed to be a great wide receiver here soon in a couple of years once T. Higgins leaves. So, Yosevich, in my opinion, will win that wide receiver 3 spot. I do believe all 3 guys will have an important role in the offense for this year. And, the run to the Super Bowl, they will all have a role, and it will be important for every single one of them. Now, I have talked about Joe Burrow just a little bit. Joe Burrow made his official return in the preseason. Had a great drive, total, just one drive. Played one series. As I did mention, he threw the ball to Higgins quite often. He did throw a touchdown. It was a great play, but it's definitely good to see Joe sling the rock out there. Now, Joe, has been told that he has to wear an arm sleeve on his throwing hand for the foreseeable future just because of the wrist injury that he suffered. It's definitely something that Joe wants to do just to keep himself healthy and stop anything from re-injuring himself, because he wants to be there all the time. When he is there, Joe Burrow is top 2 quarterback in the NFL. And, you've seen it. He's beaten Mahomes in the playoffs. He's taken his team to back-to-back playoffs, back-to-back AFC championship games. He's taken the team to the Super Bowl when he's healthy. Now, if Joe does stay healthy, I do expect the Bengals to still be a top competitor in the NFL and compete for a Super Bowl like they every year. Just as long as Joe Burrow's under center, every year should be competing for a Super Bowl. Now, that was basically kind of just a basic rundown of the off-season. It was a lot of drama, just mainly with Jamar Chase's contract issues, which they hopefully get figured out here soon. One thing I did like to talk about, kind of as a fun little topic, is the Bengals' new orange pants that they will be wearing against the Patriots Week 1. It's definitely cool to see orange pants. So far we know that they'll wear them Week 1 and Week 16. Week 1 against the Patriots, Week 16 on Thursday Night Football against the Cleveland Browns. So, with that being said, what is the expectations? The expectations, I do have them finishing just based off of my record prediction, 12-5 or 13-4. And so my expectations, obviously playoffs, it is going to be hard to fight for that division crown this year with the Ravens. But, I believe if the Bengals do get everything right, Jamar Chase gets his contract situation figured out, and Joe Burrow returns back to his 2021 self, I do believe the Bengals can win that division. And I do believe the Bengals can beat the Chiefs and take a run at the Super Bowl once again. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like button. Thank you for watching this year's Game.